Hey, we're from the team of Middle Ground, a dialogue-based organization at UD.
We asked you to submit questions that fall up the orgs to ask Dr. Spina, and we would ask them for you.
A lot of you didn't think it was real.
It's real.
This is
Students Ask Spina.
How has your day been? Well, I interacted with students early this morning. I'm interacting with students now, so it's been a great day. What is President Spina's day-to-day routine? I get up pretty early, typically 4:45. I do a quick online read of the New York Times and the Chronicle of Higher Education. I check my social media because I do my own social media. And then I'll either exercise and have breakfast and get dressed and go to work, or if it's the day I'm not exercising, I'll just get dressed and go to work, typically there by 6:30 or 7 o'clock. Oh, and then I work all day. And for me, every day is different. Sometimes I'm on campus, sometimes I'm off campus. A typical day has a lot of different kinds of things in it. What does President Spina want UD's image to be? I think I want our image to be a place that is really UD, the UD that we all know and love, a place where we have hardworking students who do well academically, so I want us to be known as a strong academic institution, but also a place where students have good social lives and interact with each other. So really leads to holistic education, and obviously having a reputation as a strong university that's fun, but one that is rooted in our Catholic and Marianist roots. What is President Spina's favorite part of Dayton? So Dayton is a great city. My wife and I have now been here 3.5 years. We love the parks, we love the bike trails, we love the arts and culture. So when we're not on campus, we take part in a lot of different things around Dayton. Who is the better engineer, a spider or a beaver? That's a great question. So I am, or I used to be, an aerospace engineer. So strength to weight ratio is really important for aerospace engineers. So this is hands down the spider. You think about the strength of webs and how light the filament is, it's a spider. How can we be more inclusive of our diverse community in our speech? For example, use of the term student neighborhood. So the administration, the faculty and staff can say, this is what we should do. But at the end of the day, there's 11,000 students. So it really is about students creating an inclusive environment. And I think the most important thing is, talk to your friends. Talk to friends of all different kinds across the institution. And being aware of what is harmful to people. If we really think about our friends and our colleagues and what's going to make them feel included here, I think we'll move away from some figures of speech that we've used for a long time at UD. What organizations and clubs was President Spina a part of in college? So when I was an undergraduate, truth be told, I studied way too much and had not as much fun as I think a lot of our students do, not as much social interaction. I did undergraduate research. I participated in intramurals most of my years. And I went to Carnegie Mellon. They have something there called Buggy, which happens at Spring Carnival. And it's really kind of an engineering design of a vehicle that has a human and goes through this really incredible course. So that was probably the thing that I spent the most time on. If President Spina could live in any UD dormitory, which would he choose and why? So if we leave out the student neighborhood for a minute, because I'd love to live in a house in the student neighborhood and just focus on dorms. I mean, I like Marycrest because you have a great view of the campus. I like Founders because you can roll out of bed and get to class in the morning. So I could probably make a case for each of our dorms. How does President Spina balance student and donor interests? That's an interesting question, and I'd say really easy to answer because student interest and donor interest are actually perfectly aligned. I spend a lot of time with donors. What they really care about is the experience of our students. So that's why they're giving a lot of money for student scholarships, they're giving a lot of money for experiential learning, trying to make certain that students have the best possible opportunity, like they did, to come to Dayton and have a great experience. What is President Spina's favorite part about UD basketball games? That's a great question, especially this year. So if we set aside like winning, which is definitely my favorite part, I'd say those moments right before the start of the game. So the hype video, and then right after the hype video, when the student section is jumping up and down and the hype music is going, I mean, that really captures the excitement of UD basketball. Why do I have to take CAP courses if it doesn't apply to my major? That's a great question. So we are a university that's really focused on not only holistic education, but education that will make you a good citizen and enable you to be really a well-rounded person, be an informed voter, participate in your community. And we believe that CAP is constructed in such a way that it will provide you really a broad-based education, able to talk about a lot of different things. Can you bring free pizza to Marianist Hall room every Friday? I could, and I might do it some Friday just to surprise you. How can we protect our community? For example, the destruction of the flag at the Ally House. Now, this is really important to me, and I think should be important to all of us. Again, I think it requires us to put ourselves in others' shoes. How would you feel if someone did something to you, whether it's steal some of your property or ridicule your identity or in some way make you feel less a part of the community? So I think if we just picture kind of tables being turned, how would you feel if someone said, really, you don't belong in this wonderful community? And I think if we really reflect on that, I think we would recognize we don't feel good about that because we love UD. What was President Spina's favorite class in college? Either probably an art history course that I took or this great class on the origins of World War I with Professor David Kaiser. I'll never forget that class. Really, really great class. Does President Spina like lecture type classes or hands-on work? I think both are important. Profs obviously have a lot of knowledge that they share in an active way with students. But for me, I really learn something when I can put my hands on it and figure out how does it really work. So I think both go hand in hand, but what do I enjoy personally? The hands-on work. How was the decision made to change spring break? So my understanding is that even before I arrived, there had been a lot of conversation about having a full week spring break, which I think most universities do. A committee was established shortly after I arrived that included students, faculty, staff, administrators. The committee, I think, weighed a lot of things about the academic calendar, but at the end of the day felt both students and faculty could benefit from a full week spring break as opposed to just a few days. What does President Spina think about path points? I do think the Aviate system and path points are the fairest in terms of giving students an opportunity to earn the housing that they would like. I really like that the way the Aviate program is run in terms of every year, the staff really look carefully and see if changes need to be made to the system. And just in my 3.5 years here, each year the system changes a little bit based upon input from students. So I would say if you don't like the path point system, make sure your voice is heard. I'm confident that the staff who run the program will pay attention. Do you believe a hot dog can be called a sandwich? No. A hot dog is a hot dog, a sandwich is a sandwich, never the twain shall meet. How much power does President Spina have in making decisions for the university? I joke a lot that I'm the last one to find out anything that's happening here, and I also joke that I don't have that power or that authority. I think it's important to recognize, this is a large university. There's no way I can know everything, so I try not to make every decision. But we have a strong leadership team, and I know that team has folks who report to them who care a lot about the university and the student experience. So what I try to do is balance, where I'm actually making decisions with things that are in front of me and that I have the most information about. I do have a lot of authority. I exercise it, or I try to exercise it in a judicious way and make certain that other people really are participating in key decisions. What is one misconception about President Spina? From time to time, I've seen on social media that some young alums and some students say Spina doesn't really care about students. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. I am here because I actually really love students. I think our students are the best in the world. When our students have challenges or difficult times, I feel those as if they're my own children. And when we have students do amazing things, there's no one who's prouder. Who are the Board of Trustees and what do they do? That's a great question. So Board of Trustees has between 32 and 35 members on it. They're my boss. Really, they hire and fire the president. They have certain fiduciary responsibilities, so financial responsibilities for our endowment, for approving the budget every year. They actually are the ones who approve the degrees, right? So recommendations are made from dean to the provost and the provost to the board of trustees. They're involved in a number of kind of official acts like that, but mostly they really hold me accountable in terms of advancing the university and making decisions that are good for the long-term future of UD. Who was your most memorable student? Oh my goodness, that is an impossible question to answer. I've been in higher ed now. This is my 32nd year, 28 years at Syracuse and 4 years here. I've met extraordinary students at UD and also at Syracuse. Impossible to pick. How can we better support mental health on campus? The university conducted the Healthy Mind Survey last year. I think 36% of students participated, which is a great participation rate. That's some really good data that I know we're going through right now in the Division of Student Development as we hire a new head of the Counseling Center this coming year. I expect we'll really look to see where are places where we need to do more, where are places where we need to reallocate resources. Very frankly, it's something we need to continue to work on together, understanding that just throwing money at this problem isn't going to solve it. We're really just going to have to work together to figure out how best to support our students, what the needs are, and how best to meet them. What is President Spina's favorite restaurant on Brown Street? I'm Italian. And one of my concerns, one of my problems with Dayton is there's not great Italian food here. But I'm going to say the calzones at Milano's with their red sauce, I've never had any better. For a kid from Buffalo who lived in Syracuse, 2 Italian cities, that's saying a lot. And now it says the most important question of all, Syracuse or Dayton? Really? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's Dayton all the way. Syracuse who? I think that's it. It's been fun, everybody. Thanks very much.
Awesome.
Yay!